What is up this morning? It is Wednesday. We got a lot going on for a Wednesday. It's a big day for the future of ASOTU. I guess we think so. Carvana turns 10, and we're going to wrap up the EV soap opera thing.
Oh, I don't know.
EV world
Wrap it
like
up.
a soap opera.
We might serve it on a platter to you, but it is far from wrapped.
The only illustration that comes to mind is the magazines in the grocery store checkout aisle that wrap up the soap operas for the week. Right. Yeah. And all the people that say I don't watch soap operas. I don't know who does, but I don't know those people. But apparently people do. And they got all these characters and lots of drama going on. And can you believe that Ryan's dating this person and all that stuff? So kind of got that little bit of that going on. That's what I had in mind this morning anyway. But I call it a soap opera.
That's fair. That's fair. It is a soap opera. Straight up soap opera.
I know. So we'll get into that in a minute. Good morning, Larry Feldman. Good to see you. It's always good to know you're just there checking things out. David, good morning. Brian, good morning. Oh man,
everybody
we got
coming in hot. Everybody's ready this morning.
Showing up.
Real quick. Just if you're watching, if you're listening, if you're whatevering, at 10 Eastern, 9 Central on Wednesdays, we do Pitch Tank Live. It's a 30-minute show. That's all it is, right? We get in, we get out, we dial it up. We got Steve Greenfield, Ben Hadley, Gray Scott, people like Alec Pinion, Eric Hall coming in to moderate, look at the tech that's entering our industry. You should be there. It is a ton of fun. We'll honor your time, and you get like 3 demos without even having to schedule them on your own. Nuts.
Oh, and no pressure. And you get all these other people that are thinking about angles you're not thinking about, asking questions. And where else can you get 3 demos, expert opinions in 30 minutes? Nowhere. From actual practitioners too, right? Because we keep the hands in the dirt. So we want people that are actually using and thinking through and trying things to give feedback and rankings on the show. So please join us. Go to Clubhouse, search Automotive State. Oh, how do you get to it on Clubhouse now? If you search Pitch Tank, will it come up?
It's not Clubhouse. It's on LinkedIn.
Oh, we're doing LinkedIn now. I didn't. Yeah, we're doing LinkedIn.
You got to follow my profile, hit the little bell, boom, and then you'll be there every Wednesday.
LinkedIn is the place then. And we'll post it on our page as well, just so you know. John Foley, thank you for commenting. Site looks good and fast. If you haven't been to ASOTU.com recently, go to ASOTU.com and experience how fast the stinking website. It is ridiculous. Kyle's been in the background like a mad scientist, sending me text messages. I just figured out one little nerdy thing that I don't understand. Right. And he does all that. And then I get excited because the site's fast. So check it out just because. And if you're not signed up for the email list, you can sign up for that super duper fast too. We have an awesome announcement to make. Actually, Steve Greenfield made the announcement today, but we are partnering. We're in the middle or at the tail end of a second round of financing for ASOTU to move us into the next phase of the ASOTUverse. We have so many announcements and people coming on board and shows that we're developing and about to start shooting coming up. But Steve Greenfield, the team at Automotive Ventures, has really, been a great partner over the last, 2 years, and they believe in what we're doing, which is really banding together the community in automotive that really believes that the culture and the perception of automotive is better and that our best is yet to come and that there's a better version of ourselves right around the corner. So Automotive Ventures, we've given them the final allocation in this round, and their investment club is going to have the opportunity to do that. And if you want to be a part of that, you can. So you can how do you get there? Can you get to the investment club website?
Yeah, so you can go to Steve's LinkedIn profile or automotiveventures.com and find the investment club there. You do have to register, fill out the type form, and then they'll kind of get you in their process. That's their portion of handling this. It's not something that you do directly through us. So make sure and check out that. Message Steve Greenfield or Andrew Gordon if you have any questions.
There's a phrase that he uses, but it just came to mind. We want to democratize automotive media, right? Like that's an element of what we're doing. So if you want to be a part of it on that end, be awesome. But if not, we're just happy you're a part of it. You get to be a part of it every day through checking out the podcast, talking about the topics, engaging in social media, showing up to the events and all that good stuff. Kyle, we have a birthday to talk about today, though.
Yo, we got birthdays.
Birthday's our birthday.
Happy birthday deal. Little trick.
Yeah. So Carvana celebrated its 10th birthday yesterday with an ironic stock price, we might add, of $1 for every year they've been in business. They closed the day at $10.04 on the day, which is actually up quite a bit from what it was in previous weeks. But Carvana has been a thing for 10 years.
That's pretty wild. Yeah.
In 2013, their intense focus on customer experience led to Carvana actually being one of the youngest companies ever to debut on the Fortune 500. Their first vending machine, which have become a bit of iconic and somewhat of a problem in some places, actually, Kyle, appeared in Nashville.
Right here in Nashville. It was a big talk of the town back.
I was going to say, I was like, tell me the story of Nashville 2015.
I mean, everybody was talking about it. Like, it was on all the news. It was right on my drive to work, and you saw it kind of going up. And, they did this whole back then, they like really tried to get people excited about like going there, getting their coin out, putting the coin in, pulling this lever, and then the car coming down off the thing and taking delivery. And then it just became like a little holding spot and a big old billboard on the side of the road. It's still there, and they actually keep a good amount of cars. Nashville's a pretty engaged market for the Carvana. The buyer demographic is really it's the right demographic. The East Nashville, like younger, tech forward is really fits there. Yep.
Well, here's a quote from CEO Ernie Garcia. 10 years ago, when we sold our first car online in Atlanta, Georgia, it was hard to imagine at that time just how far we would come in the first decade. Carvana's core values and our belief in treating people better have led the way toward creating a better car buying and selling experience. According to a new survey just released by Cox Automotive in 2022, 81% of shoppers responded said the overall car buying experience was improved by online activity. So congratulations to Carvana for 10 years. They've definitely helped the industry move the needle forward.
They've blazed a trail. No matter how much they hate on the franchise dealership system, they've moved the needle for the entire industry, for sure.
Yeah. And so, hey, when you're trying to focus on people and love people more than cars and all that, guess what? You got a friend and a fan in ASOTU. Oh, I'm thinking of a segue. We had such a good day of segues yesterday.
Oh man,
that I don't want to.
It was so good, right? It's okay.
It was so good. So I'm just going to do that because we don't have a segue button. I won't even do it. But sometimes we like to aggregate news in a particular area because there's a lot to talk about. So as the EV world turns, we'll call this today, according to recent data, every $100 in Tesla revenue, we haven't talked about Tesla in like 4 days now. Every $100 in Tesla revenue turns into, get this, $26 in profit. That's amazing. Which is
net revenue.
I'll take that business, which is far greater than its competitors and proving a major competitive advantage, despite the news-making antics of CEO Elon Musk and the company's recent stock value reckoning. The value of Tesla still remains greater than that of Toyota, Mercedes, Volkswagen, BMW, General Motors, Stellantis, and Ford combined. So he's still got that. The current case, there's a current
combined. We just I wanted to make sure people get. It's not like more than each of those. It's more than each of those combined,
added up together. Yes. But it's obviously not without its downfalls and drama. There's a current court case focusing on Elon Musk's $56 billion pay package. They heard closing arguments yesterday in Delaware. Chancellor Kathleen McCormick, who is presiding over the case, called the prosecution's final argument elegant and a kill shot. Like, that sounds like a lot of drama. As they attempt to discredit the manner in which the board posed the pay plan to a vote for shareholders. The defense says, hey, like, we were upfront with it. And by the way, shareholders 10x their value since the point where they approved the pay package. So they actually got a lot of consideration as a result of the great pay package. And then Elon Musk, during the hearing, told the court that, the pay package was helping him realize his full ambitions as a way to get humanity to Mars, he said. So it's, I mean, like, if that's not a magazine worthy, I don't know what is.
It's full drama. It's like every single week you're like, Carvana or, Tesla stock price up, Elon Musk going nuts. Right. And I don't know what to think of it. When you have a company that's running at that type of margins, it's going to continue to, play favorably with stockholders, but I just can't imagine how long they can, like, stockholders and the public can continue to kind of put up with the antics alongside of this. I mean, it is a full on soap opera. It's wild because, like, everything he says kind of like is scrutinized to the nth degree, but also, like, he continues to keep to his word at some level, so
it's really hard to make heads or tails of.
I don't even know. I don't know how to pin it down.
I don't. But on March 1st, in the shareholder earnings call on March 1st, they have teased the fact that they are going to make some level of announcement on a cheaper, a lower level, more affordable entry level EV. So I think everybody's on a little bit of pins and needles to see like what's that swing actually going to be. Like, are they going to come out with a sub 30,000 model Tesla? If so, that'll obviously be a big deal.
Well, and there was news this morning that like someone, I can't remember who the research was done by, but basically the Model 3 is $4,000 lower than the average EV price right now. So they're already like, they already have a lower end product. And so to potentially come out with a more cost efficient product below that would definitely disrupt the market, especially if they have their margins somewhere in the neighborhood of where they have their current margins at like $9,000 or whatever it is.
I know it. Okay, and the last story in this kind of EV world turns, bring it back to kind of established. What are we calling traditional automakers? We weren't gonna call it legacy.
Yeah.
I can't remember what we were calling it, but
you know, the great word for it. Someone remind us of that wonderful word that we used.
It was a really great way to spin it. But the people that have been around for a really long time before you and I were born, and all those companies that started like that. Wall Street Journal article just featured the broad disagreement on how quickly EV adoption will actually or likely occur. Most car executives agree that the transition to electric vehicles is inevitable. How rapidly to make the switch is the central question, the one that's driving divergent strategies. That's a quote from the article. So basically, we have 4 different opinions or people that they mention. Volvo's chief executive, Jim Rowan, said, we don't want to risk missing the market, right? So that's their position, which is why you see Volvo like
totally get it
all the way in and fast. Next up, traditional automakers are pointing to limiting factors as a whole, saying like there's some things that are out of our control, specifically battery mining, mining materials, battery materials, saying like, hey, there's going to be a bottleneck that we actually can't control.
Yeah, there's a supply chain issue for sure. Trying to figure
big time.
That out.
And I think we're only beginning to see the fruit of that one. Subaru, who has earned the trust of a traditionally very green customer base, is taking actually a more measured approach, but a very attentive approach. Our good friend, Mr. Tom Dahl, says we are feeling the pressure, but we have to make sure that the market is really going to tip toward it. So that sounds like a man of experience.
I think that's the trick. And like we talked to Santosh from Delaware, last month, and he was just saying like, we need to be leaning on the market tendencies more than this like over dramatized, politicized move toward the EVs. And I understand like from Volvo's perspective and GM and Ford is like, hey, Tesla's doing this, BYD's doing this, VinFast, and these automakers in other countries are pushing the boundaries of EV adoption by kind of force feeding the market. But can the market actually handle that force feeding, or is there a tipping point where we actually can't get past the early adopters at a rate that assumes what the production is? And I think that like that's a balancing act that we're not finding a very good middle ground on, especially when you start talking to the actual dealers and what's happening on the ground and what people are asking for as they come in the showrooms. Mike Manley, CEO of AutoNation, said that there's been more communication than ever between OEM execs and dealers, but it kind of seems like that they're coming in a little bit late with the news. It's like, oh, guess what? We've been working on all this stuff, right? And here it is, eat it and have fun with it. And so I think that like just early and often communication, understanding what's happening on the ground, not asking leading questions of the consumer public. And like we just have to take a more measured approach in my opinion.
I like Manley's comments. And just, I think the general sentiment of so many of the great dealers that are part of, our ecosystem, and that we know they really do understand that the OEM and the dealers have to be partners more than ever, have to listen more than ever, just like you said, communication early and often, because in the end, whatever happens, dealers are still holding the bag. Yes. Right. They still need the products to sell. They still need the OEM to make the right decision. So they need to feed them the right information. And there has to be a give and take of getting on board as much as you can to understand what the actual desire is for the product. And sometimes it is to like, okay, we got to fly the company flag for a minute here and work together. It's a give and take. And it's easy. It's a little bit easy to stand on the sidelines and just commentate on things, right?
Yeah,
we're not the quarterback. We're not in the huddle. We don't see the pressure, right? So we never want to come across like we know all the angles. We're just trying to encourage conversation and because we know there is no more apt, resilient group of entrepreneurs and innovative thinkers than auto dealers, right? Maybe we've taken some knocks when you think of our adoption of technology or adoption of certain things. But when you look at the long game in the last 100 years, I think it's pretty clear. The right group of people are in the seat to try to solve this problem and give customers what they want. And frankly, just serve the greater good of, our country and our community. So it's not easy. And
it's not easy.
But it is like a soap opera. So, hey, that's what we got for Wednesday.
We're just wrapping up the soap opera. That's all.
That's it. That's it. But I'm sure you have lots of stuff to get to from here. So hopefully you left with a smile, a little bit more information, more than anything, a desire to go out and serve some people.
Keep going.